Today I'm painting an art extension on a Magic the Gathering card from Urza Saga, which was released in 1998. This Priest of Titania art is originally by Rebecca Gay. I'm starting out with a little bit of painter's tape, which I'm adhering to the back of the card and onto a piece of cardstock. My base layer is almost always a combination of titanium white and carbon black. I will be mixing the two with just a little bit of water over all of the parts of the card that I will be altering. I'm starting the base layer with a medium-sized filbert brush. This just helps get the paint down, and I'm not as concerned about the details yet. I usually do a floating border on these older cards, but in this case I decided to cover the old school green border and leave the text box instead. I'm switching now to a small detailer brush, and that's just to get the base layer around the text. I think the most challenging part of this style of border extension is keeping the floating text intact. I'm usually pretty messy when I paint, and my paint tends to get all over the symbols and the letters, so I have to keep going back with a toothpick layer by layer, making sure that text stays visible. I'm mostly using a palette of primary colors, so here you can see what I selected as my red, yellow, and blue. And I'm also including sap green, really because there's so much green and yellow in this card that it just makes color matching a lot easier. Even though technically you could match all of the colors of this card with the primaries, it's just really for convenience. The first color I'm putting down is a really light yellow-green, and that's what I'm seeing as the lightest color in the background. The trick to painting anything by Rebecca Gay is to work in really thin, watered-down layers that you can keep building on. I'm just continuing to build the color in the sky, so starting with the lightest and going to the darker, richer colors. This probably isn't the best painting technique, but I'm watering down my paints to try to match Rebecca Gay's style, to the point that the acrylics are almost like a watercolor. Here I'm starting to work my way forward in the card, so I have the background pretty much set, or at least a base layer down, and so now I'm putting down a base color for the foreground. Nothing needs to be perfect or detailed at this point in the foreground, it's really just putting down an impression. I'm now going in with a tiny angled brush, and I'm detailing in some of the blades of grass. I decided to keep things pretty simple on the bottom of the card, mostly just so it doesn't detract from the original art by Rebecca Gay. So I'm including a few of the flowers that you can see in the original art, otherwise it's pretty much just an impression. This card has a really dreamy feel to it, I think because there's a fog that is distorting some of the details, and so to create that look, I'm just watering down my paints even more. Now that I'm done painting, I'm just going over again with a toothpick to clean up the letters as well as the border around the text box. Keeping the card taped down helps protect the back from paint, but there's oftentimes still a tiny bit that makes its way there. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to know if you also alter Magic or Pokemon cards, and hope you'll consider subscribing if you'd like to see more.